Now, in the second excerpt that's given at this cash stake conference, he asks them, because there are a lot of people who are, like we've mentioned, they're wrestling with this. They're trying to figure out, is this really from God? And he says, in order to answer that question, you need to step back and answer a different question, which is really, really the crux of the matter that was facing him as the prophet at the time. Should we allow the First Presidency Quorum of the 12 and all the leaders to be imprisoned? Should we lose all of the assets of the church, including the temples? Should we break up all these families because the men are in prison? Or should we let go of plural marriage? That's the question he's asking them to answer. And it's fascinating to me that previous to 1890, I could be wrong, but I don't know of any records of any sealings of children to parents taking place in the temples. And then it's a few years after the manifesto where we get to retain our temples, hold on to them, and we get to move forward in not having the First Presidency arrested in the Quorum of the 12 and all these men put in prison, that the revelation comes in the St. George Temple to start sealing children to parents.
Yeah, some people might not be aware that prior to this time, and you'll see the connection here in a second, we weren't sealing children to parents, children to their parents. We were not sealing vertically. We were often sealing horizontally or dynastically. Sometimes they called it the law of adoption. And people would be sealed up to prominent church leaders' families. And in 1894, I believe, is the year, just a few years after the manifesto, when we get to retain the temples, like Tyler's saying, this revelation comes where the Lord tells Wilford Woodruff, you seal parents to children and make the chain vertical, which has been the direction we've gone ever since.
And ever since, what a blessing for countless people on both sides of the veil.